It's a late evening in Argentina when a family settles down for dinner as they finish their meal. One relative begins recording, but while slowly panning the camera around the room, he captures something unexpected. There appears to be a figure standing near the pool, quietly observing the gathering from a distance. Oddly, the individual doesn't seem to move at all. Could it simply be another guest enjoying the night air? Or is something more perplexing at play? A closer look reveals only subtle mouth movements, prompting the relative to stop filming, immediately spooked by the figure's pale appearance. To this day, the family member who took the footage remains unsure of who or what was outside that evening. What do you think they encountered? A 23-year-old dedicated gamer and horror enthusiast set out to customize his new room with memorabilia from his favorite franchises. One particular item stood out: a replica of Chucky, the infamous doll from a well-known horror film series. Traditionally, Chucky is portrayed as a possessed figure that terrorizes anyone who owns him. But Ivan viewed his version as a harmless collectible, complete with a simple voice function on its back. For a while, it seemed like just another decoration, until one unexpected night, LED Ivan to question whether this so-called toy was truly as benign as it appeared. According to Ivan, the first alarming incident occurred when the doll suddenly fell from its shelf without any obvious interference, prompting him to consider if something unnatural was at work. Given Chucky's notorious reputation, it was hard to dismiss the unsettling possibility of an actual haunting. Opting for caution, Ivan decided the safest approach was to return the figure to its box and seal it with tape, ensuring it would remain out of sight and out of mind for several weeks. No further oddities presented themselves, leaving Ivan to wonder if he had overreacted in time. However, he concluded it was better to keep the doll locked away, though he later noted that this choice seemed to spark an even stranger turn of events. Take a look. Not long after, motion sensor footage captured something unexpected. The chair in Ivan's room began shaking violently the moment he stepped out. He only discovered this when reviewing the alerts on his phone, and the timing coming just as he was second-guessing his own fears struck him as more than coincidence. Could this have been the doll expressing its displeasure at being confined to clear his head? Ivan spent the evening watching television, hoping a little distraction would help him decide what to do next. Yet peace remained elusive, and he soon found himself documenting what he would later describe as the most unsettling incident of all.
Regresamos de una gran gira. ¿La lees tú? ¿O primero yo? ¿O qué onda? ¿Cómo va a estar? ¿De qué hablas? Perdón, de las historias.
Aquí sí me dio miedo, le pensé en entrar, sentía que alguien saldría corriendo y fue lo contrario, me cerraron la puerta.
Alexa, enciende luz habitación.
Hay algunas cosas con ese nombre: televisor habitación y espejo habitación. ¿A cuál te refieres?
Espejo habitación.
Muy bien.
In the final clip, Ivan reports the Chucky doll activating on its own inside its tape box, producing eerie laughter. He insists was never part of its programmed voice lines. Almost simultaneously, a door slammed shut right in front of him, adding a troubling physical element to the mystery. Was this a mere mechanical malfunction, heightened by an overactive image intonation? Or did the doll's fictional law somehow manifest in the real world? While Ivan continues to weigh the evidence, the question remains, is there a logical explanation for these events, or is something far more inexplicable at play? One evening, a TikTok creator named Gina Carr was recording a casual video in her bedroom, hoping to demonstrate how she clipped in her new hair extensions. Usually her account features lighthearted moments with her young daughter, so her followers weren't anticipating anything out of the ordinary. However, as Gina lifted the extension to her head, a figure seemed to pass in the background. Focused on her phone screen, she appeared completely unaware of any movement behind her. When viewers zoomed in, they noticed that this unsettling presence did not seem to have a visible face, a detail that immediately made them uneasy. Countless comments poured in, with many speculating about who or what might have been there. Gina insists she was alone in the house and believes she would have heard the floorboards creak if someone had walked past her. That unexplained silhouette complete with an unnervingly large forehead remains a mystery. Was it simply a trick of the light, or could it be something truly unexplainable? On a quiet evening, a mischievous poltergeist activity recorded on security camera in George and Liz's home, where unexplained disturbances consistently disrupt their routine.
Just me and four guys sleeping today, so. What the?
In this clip, the refrigerator door appears to open on its own, while a baby stroller and items shift without explanation. Is it paranormal evidence or an elaborate trick? You decide it's a man named Eddie acquired a modestly priced apartment in Poland. He moved in by himself with his cat following the unexpected departure of the previous residents, an elderly couple who reportedly vacated the unit without much notice. The apartment was fairly new and those tenants were its only occupants before Eddie arrived shortly after settling in. Eddie began experiencing a persistent sense of being watched. His cat also displayed curious behavior, often staring at blank walls and meowing at nothing in particular, before long, unexplained noises reverberated throughout the rooms, eager to make sense of it. Eddie set up a camera overnight, focusing on the central corridor. This is what he captured. The recording reveals an odd knocking sound that appears to disturb the cat on a different evening. Eddie noticed his feline companion fixated on one spot for several minutes. Sensing something amiss, he started filming again when he heard another mysterious noise. Through the footage, the strange sound seemed to echo from behind a closed door, completely holding the cat's attention. Over the following days, the activity intensified, with the knocking growing louder. The next time Eddie heard it, he used his phone to record while another camera monitored the area from a different angle. When Eddie finally opened the door, where the knocking originated, the noise abruptly shifted to another part of the apartment and now resembled something being dragged or molded. A chair was heard moving and later discovered out of place. The incidents appeared to escalate further, even occurring in the early morning hours under full daylight. Each time Eddie investigated the source of the knocking, he found nothing unusual on the other side. At one point, a kitchen item fell from the counter without explanation. By the next morning, the knocking noises had grown more forceful, adding to the mounting tension. Music.
6:56. Słyszycie to?
Before long, the sounds evolved into outright pounding, and when Eddie opened the door this time, a faint white orb seemed to drift out, although some viewers insist it could be mere dust. Regardless, Eddie remains uncertain about the true nature of these events. Was he taken him by a bargain price that concealed a bigger mystery? Only future updates will reveal whether he uncovers any answers. Following video was uploaded on the internet by Natat, known online as the sun vanished one early morning. Nat awakened to find his surroundings still blanketed in dark. Initially, he thought it was simply too early, but a sudden jarring noise jolted him from bed and revealed the day was already well underway. Concerned, he switched on the news only to be met with reports that left him deeply unsettled.
More isolated incidents coming in hourly. The president made a public statement this morning urging people to remain calm and stay in their homes. Meanwhile, experts are claiming this phenomenon to be an event similar to New
Isolated inning in the president made a public statement this morning urging people to remain calm and stay in their homes. Meanwhile, experts are claiming this phenomenon to be an event similar to New England. Scrolling across the screen were alarming headlines. Widespread riots had broken out following the sun's unexplained disappearance. Moments later, an unusual noise outside captured Nat's attention, prompting him to step into the eerie twilight and investigate. As he ventured outdoors, another loud echo resonated through the nearby trees. His flashlight abruptly failed, giving way to an unsettling red flicker that startled him. Disturbed by both the absent sun and the strange sights, he retreated to his home, hoping this was all a passing nightmare. His hope was short-lived. Not long after, he heard knocking at his front door. Unease washed over him, checking his security system. Nat found something even more disconcerting, raising new questions about whatever was lurking. Beyond his doorstep, a lone snapshot from his security camera showed an unidentified figure on the property, yet no video had been captured. An anomaly Nat couldn't explain. This unnerving incident marked only the start. He tried to sleep, but startling noises from outside soon roused him again. Through the darkness, a distant voice shouted in Brazilian Portuguese, calling, "Sorrow," or help. The urgency of this plea left Natat unsettled, uncertain of what to do next.
Flashes of bright white light then slice through the night, each pulse accompanied by a peculiar sound echoing against the silent backdrop.
Determined to identify the source, Nat approached with caution, just as he drew closer. The light went dark, then flared up in a harsh red glow, seemingly aware of his presence. Panicked, he fled into the shadows, only to hear another disturbing sound nearby. Loud thumps began reverberating inside his home, suggesting that whatever was outside had forced its way in, gripped by fear. Nat hid, listening intently, while the unsettling commotion continued. Moments later, that same flashing light illuminated a room down the hallway. Nat quietly backed away, documenting every instant on social media. He admitted he had no idea how it got inside. By the next day, he reported it had finally left, offering only a fragile sense of relief. Even so, his account remains incomplete. Could there be more to this story than we know for now? That's for you to decide.